So you've decided to build your own home and are planning to take a home loan, or you've decided to purchase your own apartment and are planning to take a home loan. What are the steps to make sure that you get an approval, and what are some important things you have to keep in mind to make sure that you don't get taken for a ride? Hey guys, Nikhil here from Banao. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how you can apply for a home loan, the steps to follow, how to make sure that you get the best deal, and how do you ensure that you waste as much less time as possible. Let's get started. So the first step before even thinking of buying a home or applying for a home loan is check your credit score. You want to make sure that you have a credit score greater than 650 or 700, else the high interest rate is going to kill you. Basically, if you have a high credit score, you can negotiate a very good interest rate. Number two, calculate the exact price which you need. So what do I mean by that? There's three main costs involved. There's the real estate cost, there is the construction cost if you're planning to build your own home, and there's the interior cost. The third one, the interior cost, where the furniture and the paint and the decor, is something which I've seen a lot of people ignore, and I have no idea why. Trust me, you're not going to live in a concrete block. So once you have these three costs, roughly let me tell you how much it will be. The real estate cost, depending on the area which you are in, will be about 4,000 to 5,000 rupees per square feet. This I'm talking about a tier 1 city like Bangalore. Next, construction cost will range anywhere between 1,500 rupees per square feet to 2,000 rupees per square feet. And finally, you have your interior cost. Now, you're not going to live in a concrete block, so for your interiors you may have to spend anywhere between 500 to 800 rupees per square feet, depending on what sort of design and material and the complexity of the furniture you decide to go ahead with. So make sure that you know how much it's going to exactly cost you, because without this number there's no point applying for the home loan. And make sure you account for everything. When I say everything, I mean not just the furniture. I want you to even account for appliance expenses like your TV or your washing machine or whatever it is. Make sure you make a detailed breakdown of everything which will go into building your home. Now that you know how much it's going to exactly cost you, the next step is to find out if you can afford the down payment. So why I'm specifically talking about this? Typically, banks in India are ready to fund 80% to 90% of the project depending on your credit history and your credit score. So meaning, say you're applying for a home loan for a 30 lakh rupee project, at least 3 to 6 lakhs will have to be arranged by you in liquid cash. That will be your down payment. That will be the exact liquid cash which you'll have to give. When I say liquid cash, I obviously don't mean liquid form of cash. I mean cash which you can pay right now. You don't have to take a different loan for it. You don't have to sell additional assets for it. The cash which you have available with you. So the way people build liquid cash is they have some stocks, they have some savings, they have some funds which they're able to sell and arrange this liquid cash, or they're gonna take some money from their relatives or whatever it is. So make sure you have sufficient liquid cash, or you know steps to arrange 10 to 20% of the loan amount, so that whenever the process does go ahead, you don't lose any time. Because trust me, in the home construction and home interior and home loan space, time is everything, and I'll tell you why. Once you know that you're able to arrange the liquid cash, just in case you're not, just build up that savings. Save up, sell unnecessary things which you don't need, and just save and make sure that you have sufficient liquid cash. Next, request for quotes from various different banks. Look, I'm sure you'll have your bank account with one specific bank, and when you approach them, they're going to very quickly give you all the quotes and all the details which you need. But request for quotes from various different banks, at least 10, because trust me, a lot of banks, if they give you favorable terms and you take those favorable terms and give it to your bank, more often than not, they'll end up matching it. Because for banks, giving loans is the way they make money. So in this scenario, you are a customer who is looking for loans, and you should look at all your alternatives. Not just that, request for quotes from different sites like Paisa Bazaar, Bank Bazaar, all these places. Request loans from your local banks which are close to you. Ask as many relationship managers as possible. And the reason you want to do a very thorough process is, once you get so many different alternatives, you will be able to find terms which are favorable to you. And when I say terms which are favorable to you, I'm referring to processing fee, I'm referring to EMI tenure, I'm referring to the down payment which is needed, I'm referring to the early repayment charges, I'm referring to different government schemes which these banks may or may not suggest to you at the early go, and there's a reason for it. In fact, they may not suggest you, every bank which you approach to at the early stages, they may not suggest you the best loan for you. Rather, they will suggest the best loan where they get the most incentive. So the relationship managers in bank essentially have incentives to the sort of loans they are able to provide. And generally, they'll not give you the best terms at the early stages unless you push for it, unless you specifically ask for it. For example, no one is going to tell you about, say, something like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAY, where essentially you can get very low interest rates, and if you have a good credit rating, you may get interest rates as low as 5 or 6%. I'm not even joking. I'll link in the description below about details about PMAY. Check that out. So more often than not, banks will not suggest this particular option to you because they have very low incentives in these options. They'll suggest the options to you where they have the maximum incentive. So that is why I'm asking you to request quotes from multiple places. Request quotes from the same bank. So they have different loan schemes where again they're going to suggest the one which is maximum beneficial to the relationship manager, but the same bank may have better schemes. So I urge you to do a lot of research in this particular phase. You do research the way you compare smartphones. Look at all the different specifications and the parameters as I mentioned to make sure that you know what terms you're signing up for. Next, get your documents ready. Even before you go and apply for a loan, get all your documents ready, because trust me, this takes a good amount of time. So how do you get your documents ready? Make sure your ID proofs are ready. Make sure your address proofs are ready. Make sure you have lots of photos. You're gonna need so many photos. You have no idea. Make sure you have a great pen. I'm not even joking. You will be signing at least 200 different documents. Make sure that you request a lot of HR documents from your HR department. So what do I mean by that? Make sure you get your pay slips, make sure you get your employment certificate, make sure you have your offer letter, and the reason I'm asking you to do this even before applying for a loan is because, well, HR teams work very fast, and even if you ask for an employment certificate, they take it on priority. They do only your employment certificate. It will still take them 30 to 60 days. So just make sure you have applied for all these employment documents, your bank statements, your pay slips, all these things. Now, apart from this, something which a lot of people don't do is they don't get the civil engineering plan, the floor plan, or the architectural plan for their particular project. So get this from your builders. If you are moving into an apartment, get an architectural plan for the interiors and get a civil plan if you're building your own house or building your own apartment. Now, don't think you'll have to spend a lot on it. If you approach a local architect and you tell them that, hey, I am applying for a home loan, I just need a plan for an approval, and I'll commit to you where after I get the approval, I'm going to use your services, they'll be more than happy to give you the floor plan at a nominal cost of about 20-25,000 rupees. And that's okay. Spend that money and get these plans. And let me tell you why. What I have seen a lot of people end up doing is they apply for the home loan with a plan which they don't end up using, and then they start working on a detailed plan. And the problem with that is you're gonna end up wasting 3 to 4 months extra. And think about it like this, you'll have to pay 3 to 4 months extra EMI, you'll have to pay 3 to 4 months extra rent, and it makes absolute no sense if you don't have these things ready. So what I would say is approach your architect or a civil engineer and tell them that, hey, I will sign a contract where when my home loan gets approved, I'm going to make sure that I use your services for my project. At this stage, one of the advantages is if you already do this exercise beforehand, it'll give you much better clarity in terms of your cost, so you know what you're getting into. So for a very nominal fee, you are going to get your plans which can actually get you an approval, and the plans will be something which you may actually end up using and saving a lot of time and money going forward. Apart from the floor plans, the building plans and the architectural plans, I urge you to collect all the tax certificate if it's a land which you have recently purchased, or if it's an apartment, collect all the certifications from your builder and developer beforehand itself. Tell him, hey, I have applied for a loan, my bank are asking for all these details, so give me all these documents beforehand itself. The reason you should have it beforehand is once you get into the home loan process, think about it like this. You tell your relationship manager, hey, I want to apply for a home loan. He'll give you a list of documents. Then you go and search for it, and then you have these documents. Then you give it to your relationship manager. Your relationship manager tells you don't have all the documents. You do this whole process again and again. It becomes very stressful, and you end up wasting a lot of time. So make sure these documents are ready beforehand. Your tax certificate, your land, your BDS approval certificate, your BBMP approval certificate, all these things. If you're moving into an apartment, and if you're constructing your own home, your architectural plan, building plan, floor plan, the bylaw certificate, etc. After you have these documents ready, apply for your loan. Based on the different parameters which I told you, like processing fee and then EMI, tenure, early payment charges, etc. Decide on a particular bank and apply for the loan. And pay your processing fee. Now, typically, right, your processing fee will be anywhere between 0 and 0.75 to 1%. Now, stay away from the zero processing fee loans, because they are going to eventually charge you directly or indirectly. So you're going to end up paying a higher rate of interest, for example, or you're going to end up paying somewhere else, because processing fee is one of the primary sources of revenue for a bank. And when they say zero processing fee, that's just a marketing gimmick to get more people to, opt for the loan. So apply for the loan and just be patient. There's going to be tons of verifications. They'll go and verify your land, your property, your apartment. They're going to come down and verify your existing house. They are going to come to your office and verify, request you for a lot of things. Just be patient during this time. Don't lose your patience, and treat your bank officials well, because they are the ones who will actually be sanctioning that loan to you. Make sure your down payment is also ready by this point, once the loan application goes multiple stages forward. So once you keep your down payment ready, the reason I'm asking you to keep it ready beforehand is to save time. Now, please keep this in mind. Every minute or every day you waste is an additional 2 times cost. So what do I mean by that? You will have to pay your EMI and you will have to pay your home rent. So keep your down payment ready when the application process has started, because once the bank asks you for the down payment, the moment you get that done, they're going to sanction the loan amount, and you can quickly start your construction and quickly start your interiors and move in. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind throughout this entire process. Banks are going to tell you that 40% of your monthly income is what you can take as an EMI. I think you should not go for such a high number. I think you should not pay more than 20 to 25% of your monthly income, because you're going to end up feeling shackled throughout the entire duration of loan repayment. If 40% of your income just goes into your loan prepayment. Of course, your salaries are gonna increase, but so will your costs. And that's the reason why I'm telling, make sure that your today's income, not more than 25% of it is going to your home loan EMI. The second thing you have to keep in mind is the early repayment charges. Sometimes say you're able to, increase your salary significantly and you're repaying your loan much earlier. They're going to charge you 2, 3, 4% sometimes. So negotiate hard on early repayment charges. Banks are willing to negotiate. You don't have to agree on their terms as they say, because they are looking to give loans. That's how they make money. So negotiate low rates for early repayment charges, and make sure you check how much you can claim as a tax rebate, because government has done a pretty good job in terms of giving you a lot of tax rebates on your home loans. Specifically, if you apply from the PMAY, which is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which a lot of individuals don't know about, and they are applicable for it actually. So that's about it. That's all you need to know to apply for a home loan. If you follow these steps, there's very good chances that you actually get approved for a home loan. Now, there's tons of home loan calculators which you can use, which most of these companies have given. So please spend a lot of time and prepare prepare Excels of how much it's going to cost you and how much you have to pay, so that you have complete clarity. And after that, go through this process, follow these steps so that you save as much time as possible. And I hope you build your dream home. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button if you like this video. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video with any of your friends or family who are planning to apply for a home loan. I am sure there is something or the other which they would have missed out, which this video covers. Thanks a lot for watching.